ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to yet another episode of Brothers with Voices. Hey, gentlemen, Murisejin, how are you doing?
Kurkupisa.
Is that why you have that towel on, huh?
Yeah,
Ndafunga kuti ndambogona uneka towel ndikafunga panga makati amufundisi.
Come on. Come out. Come out.
Chris, how you doing, bro? How you doing?
First of all, I'm not even gonna comment on Bati's thing about the heat. Because look, I stay in a freaking desert, so I'm not even gonna say because like your people don't know heat for nothing, bro. You don't know.
Hey,
nothing.
fam. If you live in a fridge and it starts, thawing, it's hot for you. It's hot for you.
Yeah.
It's hot for me, bro.
But other than that, nah, I'm good. I'm straight, man. I'm straight. What's up with you guys? How are you doing, Kuti?
I'm all right. It's Tashiga man. 2020 Buddha Biden is winning, and it's a new change. We were at the verge of thinking, if Trump won that election, it just would prove a lot in life, right? It would prove that you can just get away with anything in life, that was really troubling.
But think about it. The fact that it was that close, I mean, that still says a hell of a lot, but it should never have been that close. Why is it that close? Magana 4 years ne balance move much balance zero food.
Of course. I mean, there's certain things that he was good at. That's why maybe he's getting those kind of stupid votes. But
yeah, I was about to say that.
Also,
I was about to say that. Look, I mean, let's always be in the middle of everything. Let's look at both sides. Obviously, on Argum Fotira, have seen some good he's done, but Zirum Fotira, they've seen the bad he's done. So let's steer away from politics, but because we have opinions, and opinions get heated.
Can I just say one more thing, though? Say one more thing?
Yeah.
Biden is winning not because people want Biden in. Biden is just winning because people want Trump out. He's a good man and he has done a lot for the USA, but Obama, he's got a little bit of twang in there, but Trump.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be big for business, for a lot of businesses out there. I mean, I think be very good, but it is what it is. Let's see what happens. I mean, I think we're only gonna get the results like when I wake up tomorrow morning. That's when we're gonna know who did what. I'm actually very curious to see what Biden is gonna bring to the table if he wins. If Trump wins, I'm also keen to see what he's gonna bring back to the table and say, look, guys, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm very keen.
That won't happen, bro. That won't happen.
Okay, fine.
I personally
we're done with that guy, bro.
Too much. Go Kwango and Zimbabwe and America.
We congratulate the United States of America for making a great choice. Talking about choices, the power of choice, gentlemen. We make a lot of choices in life, and I've heard people say we are where we are today, wherever we are, in whatever environment, right? Because of our choices that we make in life. I just want to ask you, gentlemen, what are choices in life really? Like, if we could start from there, what are choices in life? Chris, I'll start with you though.
Okay, clearly you decided to go with the more intelligent guy.
Wait a minute.
So in my opinion, I think choices in life, I mean, they start from a very young age, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It very much differs. I would say that there's a lot of situations where choices are made for you, particularly at a young age. Your family makes your choices for you. Your parents make your choices for you. Like, what school do they want you to go to? What sports do they want you to play? Like, I know a lot of kids are sent to karate as youngsters, for self-defense, discipline and stuff like that. But does the kid actually want to be in self-defense? Does this kid want to be beating people up in life, like, you know, being whatever and all that type of stuff. And then when you get to a later stage in life where you start making your own decisions, I mean, one of the key decisions that I know that a lot of people have to make is like maybe when to lose virginity, or when to, you know, start drinking, or when to start smoking and all that stuff. And you realize that there are so many factors related to this particular choice, these particular choices. And I feel like personally, during the teenage years is some of the hardest periods in life to decide what you want to do with your life. Like, particularly, the guys in here, I want to be a doctor, so I'm going to do a MPC, or I'm going to do chemistry, biology, whatever, you know, those my sciences, which quarter and stuff. I think that is where life actually starts to actually make decisions and say, look, I need to decide where I'm trying to go with my life. So when it comes to choices, I feel like it's a very big deal. You know, it's a very big issue. But I feel like you only start making, personally, I think, you know, you only start making choices once you break through into teenage years, when you start trying to figure out what you like, what was your type of background, or maybe another yellow bones, or maybe another slave queen and type of stuff. You're deciding, do you like drinking? You're deciding, do you want to smoke? You're deciding, do you like drugs? As a teenager, you go. As a teenager, you go. But yeah, that's my opinion on that. Yeah.
Batsy, what's your take on what are choices in life though?
I've got I love the movie The Matrix, right? Red pill, blue pill, right? Simply that. I think that would be where I would go with my
I was gonna interrupt you, but I'm gonna keep quiet. I was gonna interrupt you, but go
on. What? No, interrupt. Come, bring it home. Bring it home.
Communication.
No. I was actually gonna say, me, I'm a big Matrix fan, but a lot of people would misconstrue Neo to be the one when Agent Smith is actually the one. But anyways, go on. We're not gonna debate about it.
Okay, no, we'll get into that one on another time. But okay, red pill, red pill, blue pill, right? So that for me is just what choice is. I think I've got this idea in my mind where if you make one choice and you forgo another one, this other one had its own path. You know, like that whole multi-universe idea that's there. Not to say that there is a multi-universe, but I'm just saying when you pick one thing, you've picked a different route altogether. If you had picked a different choice, you would have gone a completely different direction, or maybe you would have found yourself in the same place. It's just the choices that we make in life have a big impact on where we go in life. Like, I wanted to be a vet, but I found myself being an accountant because of the combination that I picked at A-level, you know, like what Chris was saying. So like, it's like my passion was animals, but I was good in accounting. So it's like, what do you do, you know? So that choice literally changed my whole life, you know? So I think the power of choice is a really, really deep thing. And I think it's something that we really can't comprehend entirely, you know? So yeah, that's my 2 cents. You pick one thing, you're foregoing a different path.
Okay.
Yeah.
I asked you that question for a reason. So Chris, you mentioned from, you know, making choices that are made for you, and then to making your own choices, you know, teenager, adolescence, or to your own choices. You now need to, you know, say, you know, maybe let me lose my virginity at this age, or let me do this, or, you know, and you also mentioned, you know about, you know, the career path, just like what Bati said too, right? But I also want to know, right? Because I believe the ones that we think are the hardest choices in life are not even the ones that are hard. The ones that are actually hard are the ones that we don't know, but we know about them, but we don't really take them seriously.
Okay, right? What example of that?
Exactly. So we have like, what would be the biggest choices for you guys, right? Would be what you have just told me right now, like career paths, and maybe what? This is what you guys say.
No, wait, but let him go so that we know where he's going with this.
Oh, anyazo zvisungirira.
Mira. I just want to clarify what you guys said so that I can go to my point, right? Because I've got two primary choices in life that people make, right? And it's just based on the generality of things, right? And these are to accept conditions as they exist, or to accept the responsibility for changing them, right? That's a different vibe I'm taking with this. I'm taking it from, I think the biggest choices that we make in life are health, that we should make, right?
What? Health.
Health, empowering yourself, positioning yourself, and maybe like definitely most importantly, your faith, right?
Faith.
If you have one or not. Okay, yeah.
If you have no, like regardless of whatever that you believe in,
Yeah, yeah.
you know what I mean? But as people, we focus on what we think are the biggest ones, are definitely, buying a house, marriage, career, and certain things that are so far-fetched that we want to achieve them. But the things that we need to take care of that are very immediate to us, like health, like personal hygiene. You know what I mean? Do you get the point where I'm getting with this?
I get you, but I think those choices are a bit more. They are a summation of a lot of small choices in between. You can talk about health, but the choice that you're making is: am I waking up to work out in the morning or not? See, there's so many small little choices in between. Health is such a broad
Of course.
thing for you to just say it is. I'm going to choose to be healthy. Or like Saruta say,
Of course, I'm talking about the steps. So then we subdivide health into its own section, and then we say, so what are you going to do, right? We're talking about just living a healthy life or going to the gym. Those are different things. Like someone can just live a healthy life without really going to the gym, just eating nicely, just making sure their mental health is in good shape. Just those basic fundamentals, right? Which really takes me to my second question. About choices, right? Why is it important for you to make a right choice? Now that I have now stipulated the ones that I think are more important than the others. Why do you think it's really important for you to make a choice?
Who do you want to go first? The smart or the dumb one? Pick one.
Yeah, pick the smart one. Yeah, Mr. Clever Man.
All right, so the smart guy actually thinks that making a choice, right, is basically something where you make a decision. Like, it's not really a decision, right? Find that choose a career. I think it really now just boils down to, are you able to deal with the consequences? Right? Are you prepared for the consequences? Because when you make a choice, you do an evaluation. I don't know if a lot of people do this, but I bring out my notebook and I sit down and I write, okay, so I'm making this decision. What are the pros and cons for each, right? And obviously I started this when I got a bit older, not when I was younger. I started this when I was a bit older. You put the pros and cons on everything, and then you're like, okay, fine. What are the consequences of each? Right, you decide on that, and then what are my pros and cons? I'll go. What are my consequences? I'll go. Then you make that decision. Okay, all right, fine. So I'm gonna do this because I'm gonna have to deal with these particular consequences, right? But in a lot of scenarios, a lot of people, even myself, growing up, I never used to do that. I would actually just do a proper evaluation of stuff. Kudara, personally, I used to just dive into things and just make a decision because I felt it makes me happy. It was about my personal happiness. Like, I'm going to decide on this career path. I love computers. I was like, I'm going to be coding for the rest of my life. I love coding, right? And nowadays, I'm like, I'm not coding at the moment. Like, I'm like, but I had to make a choice. Do I want to code or do I want to make money? I was like, I think I want to make money. I'm going to pursue that career path. You know what I mean? So I decided to make money over coding at this point in my life, right? But it is a choice that you have to make and say, look, the consequences of either or, am I ready to deal with them? So for me, I don't think it's about the choice per se, but it is really more about the consequences and if you're prepared to actually handle them. That's my opinion, I guess, on that.
Okay, so but then you that's a good way of doing it, because at least you have made a choice, but then you're consciously aware of the consequences, right? I'm sure a lot of people don't, right? A lot of people don't, because a lot of people, like, we make choices and then we don't really know what the consequences are, and then when they happen, and then we blame other people or we blame ourselves. So that's where I'm gonna come back to this, Chris, later. To you, Batsy,
Yeah.
what has been so far the hardest choice you've made in life? If you don't mind me asking.
Hardest choice. Oof. I made a lot of choices in my life, good and bad. Bad decisions, good decisions. Bad decisions are fun, guys. Msanye Pere. I think the hardest decision that I had to make. See, actually, you know what? Like I think what Chris was saying earlier. Did you say something about your no was it because he's saying the hardest choices are usually not that difficult to make? Who said something like that?
Yeah,
I
Why?
wouldn't say it. I wouldn't say anything
in
like
that
that. I'm smart. I'm smart.
You
I
know
wouldn't
why
the
I'm
say
saying
anything
hardest,
like
that?
that.
yeah, exactly my point, right? The
Yeah,
hardest
yeah,
choices,
because
right, are the easiest to make
usually
because we are not really aware of them.
I think okay, let me give you an example. I can't pinpoint on the most difficult decision that I made or the hardest choice that I made, but I
Mhm.
remember there was a time in 2015 when I was so 2014 I wrote my CTA, I bailed.
Mhm.
2015 I was supposed to write again, but there was no money. But the year before that I bought myself a nice car. You know, I had my Subaru GG and everything was popping. But I wanted to write these exams, and this money was not going to come from anywhere, right?
Okay.
I think I was asleep one morning, woke up, and I was like, I'm going to sell my car. Just like that. On that day, I went, sold my car. I think 2, 3 days later, it was gone, and I paid for my exams. That was before era food, but the thing is, that decision was very easy to make.
That's
It was very,
that's
like I didn't
another.
even think about it. That's another story.
Yeah.
But I don't regret that decision because, and it was a very. If I'd pondered on it for too long, I probably wouldn't have done it. You know.
Oh yeah,
But I
man.
was just like, no, no, listen, this is what I want to do. This is what I have to do.
But I
This
wanna,
is where I come from. Done.
I wanna debate that point, guys. Like, I feel like the hardest choices are not that easy to make, right? I feel like Mugutarama choices are the naturally supposed to make. Like, for example, your health. You know you don't want to die young, so obviously you're gonna eat
Mm-hmm.
healthy. You know what I mean? Like, obviously,
Yeah.
it's a
But is
given.
everyone doing it, bro?
No,
It's a
listen,
choice,
listen.
right?
I mean,
Let me
but
finish. Let me
mm,
finish, right? You can't say
Yeah.
it's a hard decision when you know that you need to eat healthy, you need to eat fruits, you need to eat all this, you need to cook, you need to eat and start to get my GMO. You need to make those conscious decisions. Like actually, they're actually
yeah.
even unconscious decisions because it's not like that. You want to live
My
long. Everybody wants a
consequence.
long life. You want to live long. You already know the consequences before you even do this because you've been learning it since you were a kid. 'Cause if you don't eat healthy and you eat fast food, you're gonna get fat, you're gonna get obese, you're gonna get cholesterol, and you're gonna die.
Unofunga kuti vanhu vakamira padrive through yeKFC havazvisiye here.
Aiwa, but kunzi
Sweet
vanozviziva.
that
But
cholesterol,
Vanenga
yo.
padrive
my
through.
point, my point is,
Yeah.
like some of the examples you're kind of giving, both of you, are exactly not the hard choices to make. These are like obvious choices. Like these are obvious. Like health is
Ah,
an
man, I lost
obvious
my
choice.
car, bro.
And they're
Health
long.
is health
Man, I
is
didn't
an
want to
obvious
sell that
choice,
car,
right?
bro.
Exactly. So now coming back to Batsy, with making choices, there's also a side of taking risks.
Hmm. Yeah.
That's
Risk
a
and reward,
that's a risk that you took, right? And
which is
that
like the
risk
pros and
that you
cons, that
yes,
Chris was talking about. Because
yes.
you just have to look at them. What are the pros and what are the cons?
And you have to ask yourself how many things I actually fear in life happened.
The
Have you ever
biggest
asked
fear
that
was that
question?
I was going to sell my car and then fail, and that's
Yes.
exactly what happened. Stuff out here, bro.
Okay. This is a very okay, cool. So well that happens when you like take a risk, right? But there
Yeah,
was
yeah.
also this thing, you're good Shani. I'm gonna ask you a question, Batsy. How many things do you fear or did you fear in life uh, actually did happen?
Wait,
The things that you were fearing
in
and
what
then did
regard?
not
Like
happen.
in general, in general.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I see what you mean. I see.
Do, do,
Like things
do you
that
get
you're
what I mean?
fearing. A lot of the times, the things that we fear are going to happen usually don't happen. But we're preparing ourselves in our brains for the worst case scenario. I was actually
Yeah.
talking about this with a friend of mine. With the worst case scenario, it just helps you to deal with the situation before it happens. Type vibe. So yeah, a lot of the times, something that you're extremely afraid of encountering, will most often than not happen. But
Yeah.
and it'll stop you from making certain decisions, it'll stop you from doing certain things, but the chances of this thing happening were probably very slim. But kungokwata, munhu anovhunduka.
Yeah, yeah. But do you ever regret selling your car? Because you know what, you
No,
did it for
not even. Yeah,
you get my point now. Yeah.
yeah, no
So
regret whatsoever. It's just in retrospect, it's like, damn it, At least then nakabata certificate ndichiti iyi certificate yakawanikwa because ndakatengesa each. Do you get what I'm saying? But like
yeah,
none of that is there. But the regret part of things are there's nothing. There's no regret at all. I don't feel any
fantastic.
regret from doing. I would do it 9 times out of 10
Okay,
again.
okay, okay, okay. Nice, nice. And what was the hardest decision you've ever made, Chris? That you probably had to ponder and ponder and ponder, and then you're like, okay, let me make this decision right now. Let me just do this.
That is actually a very easy one for me. The hardest decision for me was to actually move to Dubai. Um, it was hard to accept when the Zim economy was failing. So I think I've mentioned to you, I've told you guys, obviously, side when we were discussing Brothers with Voices about why we decided to move and everything, when we're building up Brothers with Voices, basically. And I told you that the reason I moved was because my business had failed. I'd been running my own business since I was 20 years old, man. Zim economy took a turn to the worst. I wasn't able to pay the guys I was working with. I wasn't able to meet client deadlines anymore because I had to lay some guys off and stuff like that. It was so much. I think you know how the downfall of a company normally goes, more so if
Yeah,
it is a startup company. So I was a startup, right? So I was running a web design company, and it was failing, man. I was in so much trouble that I had to actually get a full time job, right? So and then at the full time job, I experienced a lot of racism there. I quit. I got another one. It wasn't doing so well as well. I had to quit again, and my business just flopped. Like I think I went into a deep depression for a good couple of months, and then I called my sister. I was like, "Look, I need to make a move. I can't stay in this position and stay in my life." So,
mhm,
long story short, my decision was to leave my family back home, leave everything that I had, like friends, family, relationships, like everything. Just leave it and say I'm going to UAE. I literally just have friends here. I have no family here, and say, look, I'm just gonna go start from scratch again and figure this thing out.
mhm.
That was really the hardest decision for me in life to make because for example, you guys know that me and Daniel are like super super close. Like we grew up
Yeah,
together, we've done everything together in life. So you would realize that me living without Daniel is actually pretty hard for me because Fungamun Wakura na for 28 years, 27 years, and the
Yeah,
next thing you're not
okay,
together
yeah.
for the next long term. Like I mean, you don't even know when you're gonna see each other again, right? That was one of the hardest decisions I had to make to leave my family behind and come here and be like, okay, let me make something better out of myself. So that was my hardest decision in life.
Growing up, I thought you and Daniel were twins, eh?
Yeah, I know
Then
you
you
used
got
to
fat.
you and Tunga used to really, but Tunga, you can hear me right now. Ndamonya mdara nduguya kuzimu mdara. Ndamonya nduguya. You
No,
got
no, yeah, you got fat and you ate all of Daniel's food. That's what happened. That's
whatever,
what happened.
man. Whatever.
Nigga got fat.
and I'm sure you guys have received a little bit of backlash because of the choices you've made in life,
Yeah.
Mm.
right?
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
Regardless of whether you think it was good or bad, how did you take it, Batsy?
I think, okay, yeah, here's another choice. Like moving, the one which I feel I had the most backlash on, when I moved out of my parents' house, I didn't have my dad's, in fact, my parents' support. More so my father. My father was like, dude, this is dumb. Why are you moving out? You're not giving me any good reasons why you want to move out. But my mind was set. I was like, I want to start my own thing. I wanna, ndokuro ndine chideni changu. Yes, I had nothing when I moved out. And it sort of kind of didn't make sense for him. Kuti, why is this dude moving out? The
Yeah,
backlash there was, I think my dad only came, because I've been living alone for almost 3 years now. But my dad only came to my house, I think probably like a year ago. Like it's almost like our relationship got really, really strained because of the decision that I made. Although he then kind of gave me his blessing, like the day I left, but like it was one of those, it says, oh, now blessing, out ways, but it's still stupid,
Mm.
type bad. So, it's you always get a backlash from any decision that you make, depending on other people's opinions on what you're doing. And I think that's always very difficult to deal with because it makes you second guess your decision to a certain extent. Like, am I really doing the
Yeah.
right thing? Is it really the right thing to do right now? So it's one of those, when your mind is set on something, I would say, and you've really, really thought it through, you shouldn't let the backlash or the fear of backlash stop you from making a decision your core is telling you need to make. So yeah, the backlash is always going to be there because people always have different opinions, from what your opinion is, and people of influence in your life as well. So yeah, you need to just you know stand by your decision, and just take whatever consequences that may come with it.
I think that's the greatest thing because you when you make a choice or a decision, right? You have to stick to it at the end of the day because um, unless if you make it without thinking.
Mhm. It's just
Have you guys ever been? I've done it. I'm a spontaneous person, so
We all
I've
have,
made a
bro.
lot of
We all
choices
have.
in
oh yeah.
life. I've made a lot of
Yeah.
choices in life that were so stupid. You know what I mean? So stupid that if you tell someone the story, they'll be like, "What? Because I would do that." Um, but how do you deal with making a choice without thinking and then dealing with the consequences? How do you deal with that, Chris? If you can probably answer me on that one, bro.
Clearly, I keep getting the intelligent questions. So basically, uh,
Basically,
What?
basically,
Yeah.
I mean, when it boils down to dealing with consequences, man, I mean, there's always one important factor, and I'm speaking this particularly from the male perspective. Uri- uri take responsibility of your action. Like, you made this decision unconsciously, and you're like, you know what, screw it, I'm gonna do this, right? And then you do that, and then next thing you're in a messed up situation. I'll give you an example. I'll give you a very personal example, actually. When I made a very dumb decision just because I got too excited. So when I came here to UAE, I got so excited, man. I loved my lights, GGG. So the day I went to get
Yeah.
my phone
Standard.
contract, the day I went to get my phone, my phone line, I went to buy a phone line, right? And this guy sold me dreams. Hey, you can get this phone contract, right? And you can call for free, 300 minutes, 300 flexi minutes. You got 8 gig of data. I'm like,
The
yo, this is a
salesman.
great deal. Here's the dumb decision I did. I decided not to read the terms of contract, the terms and conditions. So what
Hmm.
I didn't know is I couldn't call Zimbabwe on the flexi minutes.
Ah.
I didn't know this. I was so stupid, right? So the Torah and ingredient contract like that, after that, I'm like, cool, man. I'm gonna pay this much every month. I'm game for it. Here's what I do in the first month, because I know I got my terms and conditions. This was a decision, and I get I'm not gonna read this, but I can
yeah,
call, right? Next thing,
Hmm.
the hakufona zindu for I'm chembere, chichi, baby, chichi, baby, spending
my
hours on
three
the phone,
hours.
bro. My 3 hour conversations, fam. Nabosika kandunakirwa, I'm trying to express my joy. Ndawana basa.
Abandine 3 minutes. Why is it?
And in my 3 minutes, little did I know the bill came, the bill particular end of the month, it came really almost 7 times more than it was supposed to be.
Jeez.
About 7 times more. And this is my first month working. This is my first month in UAE, yo. Salary rupinda and it doesn't do it. Salary
Ikubhadala phone bill.
but a phone bill. I can't even pay my rent. I literally couldn't even pay my rent at that point. I was like, what the hell am I doing? You know what I mean? So I was like, I got to that point. I was like, you know what? This is dumb. I need to make a decision. What am I going to do? Da. And the plan and the runga imba. I decided I'm going to change it. I'm going to change apartments, move apartments. Like, I'm going to pay this bill. I pay this bill. I pay this. I pay that. Right? The bad doesn't long is, and all I had to survive on a month literally was just to eat and go to work. That's all I had, literally.
That's all you
And
need.
I moved to an apartment. I had to walk to work. Now, remember this, guys. I stay in a desert, right? So every time I was going to graft, I used to carry an extra shirt so that I could
Yeah.
change in the bathroom. Ndasvika kubasa because I would be sweating. So because I
Yeah.
didn't
Yeah,
have money for the transport, right? I couldn't afford to take the train and everything like that, so I had to walk. So I picked an apartment where I had to walk. So basically, what I'm trying to say is it's about realizing the decision you've made and how it's affecting you, and you taking on the consequences head on and saying, okay, you know what, screw this. I'm an adult. I need to make
Yeah,
choices right now. I need to make decisions
yeah,
that will be fine. So that's, for example, in a case where this is a case, for example, I had to make the hard decisions and not live the lavish life that a lot of people that a lot of people think that in Dubai we're living a lavish life. You know, where at the end of the day, always at Dubai Mall and say, we don't even do that here, man. Like,
Dubai.
we're here trying to make money, fam. Like, you know what I mean? So those are some of the conscious decisions that you end up making because of the consequences that you have to deal with after making some stupid decisions. For me, that was a very bad experience. I hated that month in my life. That was a very terrible month. Financially, oof, guys,
It was a lot.
it was a
yeah.
lot. It
But
was a
see,
lot.
what would you say? Like given what Chris has just said right now, right?
Yeah.
What would you say would kind of tally that? What like a decision you made, and then you ended up having to live with certain consequences that you like. Plus, once you do it, and then like why this is happening. You literally know.
Yeah. Pane, I didn't want to bring, but this gender, guys. This gender sometimes can make you make decisions that you really shouldn't be making, you know.
Mm.
Yeah.
I remember back in the day, I was dating this other girl, and um, one of my holidays, guys, my holidays. Pressure going to one of my holidays. Yeah, saka takaenda kuno chimwe chiholiday. So, guys, yes, I may have had the money to go for this holiday, but I didn't have the money to sustain my life when I got back. And but
Okay.
like, yeah, so I think a lot of times my point in there, of course, I'm talking about this gender because I think this gender influences us sometimes at fungene brain. My brain is Saka, I think when you make a decision, you have to be really thinking clearly because sometimes you can be influenced by by certain things like Chris was saying with the flambas Dubai, the apparent flamboyant life that people are living in Dubai. You can make a choice based on wanting to live that life, but you're not actually capable of sustaining that. So yeah, I went for a holiday, came back, and I think I was in debt for like because tiri koko mari yakapera ndikazotumirwa mari kubva kuZimbabwe. It was a whole dramatic thing, and then I I think I was in debt for like six months, paying off monthly, just trying to, sha ndokubhadhara $200 every month. Sha things were cover 1,000 hey ndokubhadhara, like for the next 6 months, just trying to sustain a certain life that I couldn't sustain at the time. So I think a lot of pressure comes in from various places, be it your girlfriend, be it your family, be it a lifestyle, whatever the case may be, for you to make certain choices that you cannot deal with the sustainability that comes with it.
Just can I give a bit of advice following what Kudi said?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's following what Batsy said. Sorry, my
Right.
bad. But
Yeah.
Batsy said, look, guys, I'm gonna give you some advice. I know a lot of our generation is looking to move out of Zimbabwe and find greener pastures and everything. Look, don't get excited when you come out here. Like, please be as frugal as possible. Life is not that
Oh,
easy.
the intelligent one, Nancy
Please,
Frugal.
please don't frugal, bro. No, don't like live within your means. Like, that is very important
Yeah,
for you. Like, one day you will just see yourself in a situation and you're like, oh shit, wow.
yeah,
And you literally, and one thing you actually always need to understand is that when you make these decisions to say I'm leaving the country, I'm going to the diaspora, and you end up in these situations, and these people who helped you get there in the first place will be like, go on, go, you take what your man. We're not gonna help you get yourself out of this. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
always
Yeah.
remember this, like forever. I know I'm digressing, but I thought that was a very important piece of advice just to share. Really, don't sign contracts. They're my telecoms company. I was not terms and conditions, guys.
Bruh.
Wakabuda
Bruh.
big hanzi. Yakarwadza telecoms.
We don't.
My
I have
contract
a
like,
similar one to that, and then I'll delve into my main, like what I did that I really, it ended up being a good story, but then I made a decision, and then I didn't know of the consequences. Um. So maybe sharing something that would tally with what Chris said. I've once, those gym memberships that you join and then you just sign. There's this pretty lady by the counter, and
do you lift, bro? Do you lift?
you like, so that's the whole thing, right? So I was in Cape Town, and I go to this gym, and I join. I lift if I definitely it's a when I lift. But now I joined this gym, and I don't sign anything. She's just talking to me. She's like, "Hey, join, and this is what we're gonna give you and stuff. You're gonna have access to A, B, C, and D." And I'm like, "Okay, cool. But why are they 5 papers though? Oh, it's just terms and conditions and shit. Okay, cool. And that's signer, you boom, and I buy. And then in my mind, I'm like, bro, I went to the gym the first month. That's usually what I did. The first month you're pumping. The moment you see some gains, and then you're like, okay, maybe not. Yeah, and then you just do other things, right? So maybe you're just going through a bad time, and then you don't want to go to the gym, right? So you are then not going, and then you probably assume that you don't have to pay, because normally you pay for something that you use, right? But in this contract, it stated that, hey, bro, you have to pay each and every month whether you come or not. This is a contract for a year. But every day, people are calling me from Zone Fitness. Yo, bro, how far your payment doesn't come in? Did you see me coming to your gym? Why are you asking me those questions? Yo, but the terms and conditions are there. This is for a year. Whether you come or not, bro, you have to pay this for a year. You know what I mean? And you all know when you just go ahead, you don't check those things. You just go ahead and sign. I had to fight it because it doesn't really affect you on your credit, but then they just keep on bugging you.
Bro, the way those motherfuckers call you, bro. Yeah, phone when you don't call center mdara na chingofona kosha. It's a payment here this month. Kosha, payment here this month. Kosha, was it? And it's in one day. This is just in one day, bro. I understand you could completely are you, man. I get you.
And you want to go on a contract line in no phone local.
My way. Dara. Okay, cool. So we talked about the personal part of things and stuff. Let's talk about what you guys talked about in the first Pambotara careers. A lot of the people that I now target profile audience, normally between 25 and 40, the people that actually watch this show. So changing of careers, a lot of people have this thing, this is what I'm supposed to do. If I don't do this, then maybe I might not get this. There's a lot of problem, choice of change of career.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, so, Chris, you want to say?
Okay, so I've got a lot of experience when it comes to career changes, actually, because I work in education, so I speak to a lot of people about what they want to do in life. So I'm actually a very good. Well, I like to think I'm good. I don't know if I am, but you can check my LinkedIn if you think if you think I'm not that good. You can check my LinkedIn profile, my references. I'm very good at
Nasi Christopher Arcus, you market as you serious, Andy. Mr. Intelligence, Mr. LinkedIn. But you're reading, Andy. Okay, anyway, as you will continue.
Because I'm coming, but I'm coming to Zimbabwe. December. You better take your question and ask me exactly what you want, and I'll tell you.
Gentlemen, talking about choices and decisions. I've also made some that are very dumb. I've made some that really shocked me, and I ended up reaping the rewards later. But I regretted at some point, the choice of going to South Africa in the first place, right? It came as a regret. A lot of people said a lot of shit that time, especially the people that I was working with that time. Ungasiye basa, wenda South Africa. South Africa, I suffered, bro. I suffered big time, to the extent that it affected my mental health. and I couldn't even tell my mom that at this point I'm suffering.
Ndaro, unoitanga sei
Nomuda.
iwewe Mugaya?
How? I sold my car, I sold everything I had, right? So that I could just go there and just live a comfortable life. And then it wasn't the case. I had to then, from working as a sales agent to Telecel to working, as a waiter to South Africa, because I had to make those kind of, like, that was the choice I had to deal with. I had to deal with those kind of things that, okay, this is the choice I've made. Am I going to go back home? No,
Yeah.
I can't
Agree,
go
no, it's
back.
not an option.
It's not an option to go back. It's not about going back home, essentially, but it's not an option to go back where you were before, to go back a step further. Like, when I'm watopo, so think of what you're going to do, right? So I had to take different measures for me to be at this position that I'm at today, right? Another one, before I joined ships, I didn't know exactly how the life on ships would be like. Even though you wake up in the morning and you go and chill in the Bahamas and or you're in Aruba or whatever,
Fancy.
the night before is different. You know what I mean? Like, working on a ship is a different life from being on land. Life is definitely different. So it's a choice you have to make. Yeah, but mostly you don't know. You can only know why in Koko. So I was very intrigued with the opportunity, and I went there. And in training, they would send you to places like Miami, Michigan. You're going to Ndege, everything is paid for, right? You meet all these people with a lot of ego, confident people. You also learn how to be confident and also to stand out, right? You learn all these things. What about ground? You're staying in a hotel in Miami. And then they shift you off. Ship you off. You go to this ship, and there's this a-hole of a person waiting for you there, bro. Waiting for you, because what happens on a ship is this. Regardless of where you're flying from, I was flying from Miami to Singapore, and that was like, I don't know how many hours, maybe like 19 hours. You fly there, and then once you're jet lagged and whatever, it's different time zone altogether. But because on that same day you have to replace someone that's leaving a ship on the same day, it's like on a ship everything just goes like it has to continue as normal. So once they have replaced someone, they are saying they've gotten someone fresh, right? And
Okay.
apart mirwe kushanda mdara. First of all, you're getting into the room. The room is very small. You can't even fit in that room when you get into it, right? Everything is different. The room that you know Batsare Muka is not the room that you stay on a ship. On a ship, you stay in a room that you are able to just maneuver to get inside and
Jeez.
find your bag and find where to sleep, right? Until you get to a certain level. So I had to work to that certain level, but in that particular point of getting into a small room when you're a junior on a ship, getting into this small confined space, speaking to different people that are very rude in different languages. They're very rude. Like they have their own rudeness. On a ship, you can greet someone and then they cannot just reply to you. They can just not.
That's
like
standard
you can say
procedure.
hi,
That's standard.
That's
right?
life.
So,
Fuckers have
but
these
that
fuckers
was,
were not raised like us.
but bro, that was my
What?
awakening moment. That was my awakening moment. Kudzoni, why am I in this environment, right? But then Wapinam environment is so new, bro. It's new, and you're regretting every decision you have made. Like you're
Yeah.
regretting that decision. Why did I make this? Why did I do this, right? But the external world also can see you in Dubai, Abu Dhabi. You're posting with
Yeah.
Burj Khalifa, baby. They will never know
The stresses.
all these things. They will
Never
never
know.
know all these things. But they will admire the decision you made, but they don't know the consequences you're
That you
suffering
had to
from.
deal with. Yeah. That's true. That's true.
That's why I think it's always good. Every day we envy each other in life and we look at each other, right? Later on in life, I enjoyed my life on the ship because you then find ways to maneuver and even go up to getting your own room and bigger room and whatever. You maneuver your way up to find those things, but it's because of what do you do when you're faced with the consequences, right? What do you
On the
do?
process.
A lot of people quit. A lot of people just say, Maz, this is not what I'm going to do and stuff, right? And a lot of people maneuver for a little bit so that you can learn from the whole process. So I guess not every choice that we make in life is bad. It can be good or bad. But even if it's bad, I'm sure we can always turn it around to see what we can do with the whole situation. Uh, Getting me to this point, right? Getting me to this point that when you are really making a choice, you've got two things, right? You're gonna
There are
you're
two
gonna
things involved.
choose to suffer. Yeah, you're gonna choose to suffer from the consequences, or you're gonna use to, or you're gonna choose to apply wisdom to it, right? Wisdom is you're already in the situation, right?
Mhm.
So what are you gonna do? You're already suffering the consequences. So what are you going to do in this instance? What would you do? You're faced in this, whole consequence, Chris. Let's generalize it so that we can quickly close. You're faced with this consequence. It's very big. You've got two choices: to suffer from it or to use wisdom. I want to help the audience today because a lot of people are going through this today. We make choices every day, and some of them we can't live with them. But why? Right? Is it because we
Okay.
choose to suffer with them or we choose to use wisdom? Because there's always a way out. Because I believe every negative thing is also there to teach you a lesson, right? What would you say when it comes to that, Chris?
Okay, so the first thing I'll say is, imagine I'll give you an example, right, to answer the first part as dealing with the negativity and the consequences, right? Imagine Nazi, Ndavananzi Dubai, you're deported, and I have to come to
Yes.
Zim. I have to come back
Hmm.
home. Here, once you're deported, you have to go home. Like I would have, but I didn't. Is straight to Harare, Harare airport. You know what I mean? Imagine the negativity that I'm gonna get. Saka wakaenda kuDubai, hauna kutenga imba kuZim, hauna kutenga na motikari kuZim, you never invested in Zim. You know,
I'll
all
cut you. I'll just say one statement, Zimba.
yeah.
Oh, no
Just
boys, reba Dubai karakadzoka manje manje. No boys,
but
there reba
yeah,
brothers with
exactly.
voices.
That is and them fun with brothers with voices. Yeah, yeah, he's back now. Adzoka, brother.
Vakadzoka.
Yeah, and vakakuona uri munhingiriri mukebab mama vakutora picture uyu mbana brothers with voices, they tag you, they tag brothers with voices. Dubai unoumitsisa mari mufano yana akana cash wa10 izvo. And these are things that actually happen, right?
Yeah.
And you find a lot of people actually have to deal with that in a lot of different ways. But I say, like, you know, I think it's about your mental strength, right? Because are you gonna let such situations take you down? Are you gonna listen to people, talk to people about how you're a failure? Because I mean, failure for me, how I personally define it, failure is just another step to success, right? Inini ndikatadza kuita chinhu nhasi, it doesn't mean I'm not good at it. It just means for me, I just implemented it in the wrong way. I just need to redo it, and I'll get
Yeah.
there. You know what I mean? So given all of that and all the consequences that you deal with from your decision making, I would say like, and I won't even answer it as a question, Kudzi. I will give it as a piece of advice, right? Don't let people turn you down. Don't let people think you ill of you. Like, yes, your decisions are your decisions. People are gonna judge you either way, no matter
Hmm.
what you do. Whether watenga mancho and if mkoma jinimbi watenga mancho now, people are still gonna judge you whether une one room but then by Ningrini, by Mfakwezi or by Glenview, whatever the case may be. People are still gonna judge you. All I will say is that, look, just do you. As long as you're happy and you're at peace, and believe me, there's nothing that gives you more peace than you personally being at peace with everything in your life. So again, I'm sorry, I'm not going to answer that question in that way. I decided to actually give advice instead and say, me being the intelligent guy today, um, just always go
Yes.
for your peace of mind. Most importantly, like that's what I'm gonna say. That's what I have to say to that.
Yeah. I
That's
agree with that a lot. I agree with that a lot. I think at the end of the day, look, people are always going to judge you, whether directly or indirectly. People are always
yeah.
going to to have something to say about the way you are living your life based on their assumptions of your life. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you're in Dubai, you should have been making money. You're back, you have no money. We must judge you. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, people are always going to look at your life and have a synopsis of it and decide on how it should go. But like, at the end of the day, it's all about how a lot of people want to live in the past or live in a future that they can't see, but it's all about the now. Like, how are you living your life right now? How are things, the decisions that you've made up to now, how are they shaping your life up? So I wouldn't hold on to. I think I'd probably lean more onto the wisdom part of things, on how to
Yeah.
deal with your situation in the situation that you're in now. Like, you
Yeah.
can find yourself worrying about future scenarios that haven't happened. You can find yourself worrying about things in the past that you can't change, and then you forget about dealing with your current situation and your current problems and your current wins. Because when you win, you still need to make a decision on how you're going to take that. Like, if we get to 10,000 views on this video, we have to be humble. It's a decision as well. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yes.
Even your
Yes.
wins need you to have a certain mindset as well. So I think it's one of those things where you need to come to a point where you're present and you're living for right now and not for tomorrow and not for Kumashiro. Of course, the
I'm
decisions
sorry.
you make.
I do disagree the way I'm still gonna disagree because personally I don't live in the present. I personally live in the future. Like everything I do in my life is planned for the
Future
next,
based.
yeah, like for the future bit. So naturally that makes me a thinker. Everything I do is pre-calculated, it's pre-planned. Yes, there's some immediate decisions that need to be made, but everything else in my life that requires a long-term stability or decision is pre-planned. Like I know what I'm going to be doing in the next year. Like I literally know what I'm going to be doing in August next year. I actually know.
Yeah, but I'm not saying don't think about the future, right? I'm saying every decision that you make right now is obviously going to affect your future. So that's important.
But
But I'm
but
saying
anyways,
don't forget to live now. Like,
Yeah,
unokangana
because
kuliva
the future
now.
is not guaranteed.
It's not
I mean, the
guaranteed.
future is not guaranteed. It's not. You don't know what's going to happen. But I
then you
understand
still
what
need
he
to, but then
means
you still need to
because
plan for it though.
Of
you still
course, of
need to
course.
plan
That goes
for it,
without
right?
saying. That goes without saying.
Yeah.
I'm saying,
Yeah.
I didn't say you shouldn't plan for the future. I'm saying
Mm.
people have the issue of planning for the future and forgetting that they're here now
Kudzi,
in
can
the
I ask you a
current.
question? I know it's your show today, but can I ask you a question?
I've
Pamuri,
also got a question.
yeah, I'll start. Can I go first since I'm the intelligent
Mira
one today?
ndifunge,
Sure.
ndifunge. All right,
All
fine,
right.
you can go.
My first question is my question is as simple as this. Do either of you guys have a will right now? If let's say God forbid you guys one of you guys
Uyo
passes away,
unodependa kuti
do you
uri
have a
kusiya
will?
chii
Mune
nemapfumo
chi
ari
weze.
padheni nejagwa
I
jagwa
don't have a
racho
will.
saka
You don't have. I don't have one. I
I
unoisa
don't
don't
have a
have
chii
will.
one. I don't have
I
one
don't
either.
have a will. No.
unoda chekuisa pawiu ka ungangounyore wiu
Ndinenge ndane tunhu chana. If I put my name,
twangoiswa tinongo like I don't if I had a wife like the moment I get a wife I'll write a will but now that ndisina ka anything can just go to my family everything
ngazvingotorwe ipai mota kuna nhingi magirazi
yeah
ake ipai nhingi anenge asingaonesa iye hazvina basa izvo.
yeah but yeah if anything happens to me right now everything just goes to my family you know
Okay.
right now it will just go to my mom and my mom will see what they can like what she can
Ungone
do with it
kutamba nazvo.
yeah but
Okay.
the moment I get married I've got a wife and definitely she has to be part of that you know what I mean and same applies to her because we have started something that's a choice I have to make
Yeah.
for that to happen right you know
Oh,
the thing that I was really looking at is okay so how can we try to educate ourselves and people out there to maybe make the right choice no matter what it is right no matter what it is I had 4 points that you know we literally need to just leave to make a decision to make an integral life like a
Okay.
life of integrity right kuti the choices you make in life regardless of which environment you're in whoever you're dealing with right you mustn't make a decision that will compromise another person that will make another person lesser and will give you the higher, thing. That will make you feel good and make another person sad.
I think down is a bit tricky. I won't lie.
Yeah, yeah, I was about to say that.
Down,
It's
down is a
very
bit tricky
tricky.
because
It's very
every
tricky.
in many cases okay, let me give a simple example. You go for an interview for a managing director of a company. Managing
Yeah,
director of the company was there previously, got fired. You see, like you're always going to benefit from
that's
someone's.
not directly you.
I mean, okay, maybe not
That's
directly,
not
but like
directly you.
I
That's
can
just life.
think if you give me 10 seconds, I can probably come up with another example that will be a direct impact of your success.
Can I give
Sometimes
you an
your
example?
success,
Can I give you an example then?
or an example, because your success sometimes means the downfall of someone else. Unfortunately,
Of
that's
course,
how this is
that's just
structured.
life. But then,
Yeah.
I am talking about self. Like you do this knowingly to someone so that you can uplift yourself. Exactly my point. Exactly my point. So, of course, if we generalize it, Johnny, if I get an opportunity, if we're looking for a tender and we're 5 people and then I win it, 4 people are going to be sad. Do you think I give a damn? No, right? It's
Yeah.
just work, right?
I'm not
But
going
we're
to share
talking
my
about,
Tinder with you. Yeah.
yeah, of course. Of course not. But I'm talking about us making a decision in life that, we don't hold another person active and then we are also joyous on the other side.
Mm.
That's just one. This goes into all areas of life, into how we deal with people, how, like, generally how we just deal with people,
Mhm.
right? Um, People that also, I've heard about this. People that lie don't have peace in life. We all lie in life,
'Cause you have to
but there is
remember
a
your lives.
yeah. No, there's a. Have you ever realized that we all lie in life, but they are experts in lying?
Pathological liars.
They're like experts, liars, and cheats and stuff. And those people sometimes they project it back as well because they're liars and they're cheaters and they blame other people for everything that happens in their
True
lives.
that.
You know what I
And
mean?
what
So so they make a choice and then they blame other people every time. Like it's never their fault. They
Mhm.
blame other people, right? But also in that same vein, picture people blaming you at the same time.
For their
Just
problems.
picture people, yeah, just picture people blaming you for their problems every time.
Yeah.
Just
I know
picture
that.
you doing that, you
That's
know?
that's something that made me actually quit one of my other jobs. Like when you're in position of authority and everything is landing on you, geez, sometimes it's not worth it, bro. Yeah, that's a hard thing to deal with. It's a hard
Yeah,
thing to deal with. And everyone's blaming you for their problems when it's actually not your fault.
yeah. So I mean,
I've got a different take on that though. Like, I mean, I think when people get on your case and they're busy being like, "Yo, it's your fault that I'm here in life." Honestly, I think it comes down to you as a person, and you say, "You know what? Look, guys, look, I'm sorry, I'm laughing. I'm sorry, I'm laughing. I'm sorry, I'm laughing, but." These are things that I learned when I came here. Like, there are a lot of people who blame you for stuff that are not within your reach. You know what I mean? Like people gonna talk. People gonna talk.
Yeah.
People is gonna people is always gonna blame you for doing something. You know what I mean? So it's now here for you to say, look, you know what, man, this is always with your man.
Yeah.
I can't do that. So I don't know where you're going with this, but look, and I will tell you something. We need to normalize um telling people that, yeah, I'm not comfortable with this. Number one, I don't like this. Number two, I'm not gonna come out because I don't want to. Number three, like, feel free to tell people, yeah, Zoru Torres and this
Just agrees.
this is how great is with German and this
Yeah.
could that scenario. Feel free,
Yeah,
normalize.
clearly Murum first worlds. Yeah, clearly.
Yeah, because I mean, look, I'm not gonna lie to you, but here you experience so many things. So Gucci, people hate you for something, right? And you're like, people are blaming you for one situation or another. And you're thinking, but dude, look, I made a choice not to be there. Like, I'll give you a very straight example. Um, the other time I was supposed to, you know what? That's a long story. I'm not even gonna get into that. All I'm gonna say to you is, Sha, can also skuda. You know what I mean? There's a difference in
Yeah.
whether you can and you don't want, and there's a
Yeah.
difference in whether you know you have to. Like in certain
Yeah.
scenarios, you know that it's a must for you to do it, but in certain scenarios, don't be forced to make a decision that you can't sustain. Like imagine if somebody puts you in a position whereby you have to spend like $1,000 Yoshina,
Yeah.
and then you have to get into debt to please that person. What for, bro? Like, hey, Sean, this song is
Hey, this.
I'm not gonna spend $1,000 for you, man.
Sometimes this gender. Anyway.
This gender, bro. Like,
This gender.
And another thing, as human beings, we must learn to live with the consequences of our actions. We must learn, regardless of how we choose our. Like we know that each and every person is going to choose to live their lives. The biggest thing that you get from people is when there's something that actually happens is Munaita something chake and then it goes bad and then they're like, it's my life. Yeah, it's a life, but they learn how to live with the consequences too, right? You must learn how to take responsibility. Yeah, man. So, gents, the reason why I had this, topic today is because we can just, basically just talk about it, three so far, and then we can see who we can bring for the next part two, right? For the part two of the story. There's a lot to be covered when it comes to choices we make in life, but it's also based on like individuals, right? How you deal with your own situations. But we also need to, there's a certain aspect we didn't touch on, which is environment. I would like to know from an aspect how environment plays a role in someone making their choices. And I'm like really keen to know that. So let's kind of end here today and then see how best we can take it from next time. But hey, it's been great. What we need to know now is enough likes here. Chris, what do you normally say about YouTube?
okay, let me.
You
Okay,
normally, yes.
shall I take it?
Take it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You are the captain now.
So I'm the captain, ladies and gentlemen. Like I mean, as always, like I always request you, ladies and gentlemen, to do this. But kindly, please go to the YouTube page. Kindly subscribe on the YouTube page. Kindly share. Like I know last time I literally asked you guys, go and subscribe. Now this week I'm gonna ask you and beg you guys, go and share the YouTube link. Because you don't understand, it actually makes this show go on the more you like on YouTube. I know you love the comments on Facebook. I know you can put fire emojis and they're funny and all that, but it's also important for you guys to go to our YouTube page, share that YouTube page to your friends, family, boyfriends, girlfriends, side guys.
Girlfriends, boyfriends.
Uh, I don't know. Just share to everybody you know. Basically, that's all I'm trying to say. Right. So just know that it is very important for you guys to actually watch it on YouTube and share it on YouTube. You don't have to just go and share and come back to Facebook and enjoy the comments. But basically, YouTube is very important. Please go and do the YouTube thing for us, please.
Yeah. Batsy,
Go.
your closing statement and we leave.
I ain't got nothing to say. I ain't got nothing.
Ladies and gentlemen,
I ain't got
it's
nothing.
been a great week. We'll see you next week.
Cheers, guys.
Amazing stuff. Peace out.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for spending your time with us today. We really appreciate it. We still want your feedback. Put your comment below. Inbox us. And hey guys, Tatenda. Please continue to like our page on Facebook, subscribe to our channel on YouTube, and also follow us on Instagram. See you guys next week. Same time, same place. Dino and you, Mike.